Welcome back to MCOC AlBundyRules. I have Chapter 2 here. It's going to include 2.1 and 2.2 of the new event quest for December 2020. This is going to be the new Spider Pig event quest. So we see that Cosmics get some advantage in the Cavalier difficulty. Going to be an item-free run. So what I'm going to want here is going to be Cosmics, especially those that are easy to get at least 3 buffs on them. We'll see that the boss over here is going to be Emma. Looking through there, see the Strong Once Twice Shy, Power Sting, Special One Bias, Matador, so keep that in mind. So as I like to do mostly on these runs, I brought 3 specifically for the path, and I brought 2 specifically for the boss. So my 3 Cosmics specifically for the path. So they're going to include Captain Marvel, Cole, and here we go with Cole. So I need to have 3 buffs to do damage. After a couple fights, he'll start off with 3 buffs with those Thanos favors. However, in the meantime, he doesn't have any. However, an overlooked part of him is that his special one gives him the 10 combo shield, which actually counts as 10 buffs. So as long as I get that S1, I can start doing some damage. So what I'm going to do now, this is his first fight. Cole's a ramp up champ, so we're going to take a little bit. Go to activate that route and get going. Decent health pool on this fight, so the fight might take a little bit until I get my Cole ramped up a bit more. If you are watching this video, I'll assume that you've already beat Chapter 1 completion. For some reason you haven't and are just jumping ahead, came across this video, I would recommend the Chapter 1 item free completion run. I did for 1.1 and 1.2, which was also all solos, including the bosses. Here we'll see. It's going to take in a little bit. First fight for Cole, especially on higher health pools, a little bit longer. Go to get that route activated. But Cole is somebody I actually like to use on these paths, and he's someone who's overlooked because not everybody always remembers that his special one can give him 10 buffs for the remainder of the fight, assuming you don't get hit 10 times. And he's just kind of fun to use. Not the most efficient all-around Cosmic, especially for these nodes, really Hyperion. One of the other ones I brought for the path is extremely efficient with these kind of nodes, but Cole's just more fun. Getting those armor breaks, I'm going to get the route going, and then now I'm going to do a special 3. So I did a tutorial on Cole for those of you wondering what I just did right there and what's going to be coming up with some nice damage. But it was basically the armor breaks, the route, and an S3. He's only got 1 of his favors, so you see him in a couple fights when he's got 7, 8, 9, 10, a lot more damage, but great fun champ. So going to the next fight here, we got Hulk. Again, my 3 Cosmics are for the path. Should only take me 1 or 2 most likely to get through the entire path. I like to bring 3 just to be safe. And as I've said before, I like to bring 2 champs specifically for the boss just to be safe. Even though I'll be going for a boss solo, you never know. Mistakes do happen. You overlook things sometimes. Alright, so I would have 3 favors now as we see, which means I started off giving damage, so I had 3. However, I made a mistake here, and I forgot to launch my S1 until I started seeing all those zeros, and I'm like, okay, I forgot to get my combo buffs. So now I'll start doing damage again, but always want to go ahead and bait. For those of you who aren't, if you are watching this video and you're not comfortable with debating the specials or debating the heavies, I did a video on that recently, 10 fighting tips that could help show you better on that, but very imperative part of the game, especially for power control management. And so we're seeing Cole do a little more damage, but still got a bit ways to go for his ramp up. again, I'm going to go ahead. I want to give me some armor breaks there. Taking a little bit of block damage, a little bit's not going to hurt me too much as long as I don't take a ton of it. Chloe is notoriously infamous for his low block proficiency, so you don't want to take too much, but a couple here and there is going to make that big of a difference. Alright, so I went ahead again to combine my armor breaks along with my route, my S3 to reactivate those Thanos favors and get some nice damage going on in now. Gotta stop to bait that S2 and should be finishing this fight off fairly quick. Getting the disorient debuffs because of the nodes for when I parry, but I'm not usually too worried about a disorient. So now going to Old Man Logan, I got 6 now. Let's see the damage increasing a little bit. So Thanos favors. Again, going on in. So we'll start off with some decent damage. Good old easy accessible armor breaks. Gotta remember about the unblockables for Old Man Logan here. Getting zeros, so I need to launch that S1 to get those buffs up. And there we go. Now I can go ahead and start doing some damage again. I like to try to take it maybe a step back or so when I'm beating Old Man Logan because I don't want to accidentally get caught. Again, any buff heavy champs that are easy to get the buffs are great for this path. Again, using Cole, just launch that S1 and you'll be good for the entire fight as long as you don't get hit 10 times and lose it. Or technically 7 because you don't want to go under 3. More than 7. Hyperion's great, you just do heavy, parry heavies all the way. Captain Marvel movie works too, you just gotta get her up to her 25 charges to activate her ignition mode. So she gets those Furies. Trying to do it with the Cosmic Champs because of the extra benefits for these nodes. So any of those ones who I brought on this team would work great, and there's several other good ones out there too. Most Cosmic Champs, Venom, most Cosmic Champs are pretty easy to gain buffs, so they would work. Heimdall with his Furies, just bank them. Venom the Duck would be good too. So lots of good ones. Most Cosmics are pretty buff heavy. Now we got Thor going on. I just gotta watch when he gets to those 20, close to those little 20 charge thingies up there. I always forget what they're called. All these different charges and other stuff, all different names on champs. I get them confused at times, I'll admit it. So I made a mistake. I did not save a special for before he hits 20. So I'm trying to, as much as I don't like taking chip damage, I'm trying to build my power up so I can launch a special immediately after he hits 20. Otherwise, he's going to get an S3 and going to toast me at this point. Made a mistake there. I got a special, but it's by the time it stops his power gain, it's too late. So, night. Silly mistake there I made. I forgot who I was fighting. I would normally have saved a special for the 20. Just brain spasm and missed out, and it's going to cost me my coal. But it is okay. I still have 2 more Cosmic Champs to get me through the path. That is good way complete. And I was a little in a hurry and I pushed the wrong button. I was trying to get Hyperion and I just misclicked. So I will happily work with Captain Marvel. I did bring her for a reason, so may as well use her. I do like her a lot more with Nick Fury, I'll admit. However, she's still extremely usable without him. So what I gotta do in order to get the buffs, I need to get 3 buffs before I can do damage. So right now I'm just trying to keep space. I'm trying to keep an eye on this combo meter up there, but I'm also trying not to get cornered. So I need to get up to 25. I'm making some silly mistakes. Perry was having, actually, I don't even think mistakes. Perry's just working really weird in these event quests. There'll be several times in between chapter 1 and chapter 2. Today on these EQs, I parried. You could see the parry, you could see the block, you could see the exact timing, and the parry just did not work, and it took a couple hits. But anyways, I get to my ignition mode, go to launch this S3. I can do the damage now because I got my buffs that came out when I got the ignition, and which makes her a good option. If you were going to rely on Captain Marvel to clear the whole path, I would recommend bringing a Nick Fury with you just because she shines a lot better. I didn't bring her to clear the path, I brought her as a backup, so perfectly sufficient for my needs. I'm getting close to the 20 up there. These fights taking a little bit. Don't remember what these health pools are, but they seem super high. Fights a little bit longer. At least the fights are way longer than they were in the first chapter. If you watched my walkthrough on chapter 1, those fights were all over super quick. But then again, between Namor and Nick Fury, they just destroyed the fights. Made it quick and simple. So getting close to the end here. Don't want to let his power get him to. Need to make sure I end it before he launches that S3. And done and done. Took a good amount of hits considering I had already started off on him. But now we're going to go ahead and go to the next fight. Going to go to Sentinel. Now I'm going to use somebody who's really, honestly, probably the best for these. I just wanted to switch it up a little bit. I used Hyperion heavily last EQ Cavalier mode for these nodes, so I wanted to switch it up a little bit. But Hyperion is amazing on these. All you do is parry heavy, repeat, and you're going to start seeing some insane damage coming on out. So it's easy to get the 3 buffs with him. If you were having an issue with the theories for some odd reason, mainly if maybe yours wasn't duped, you could also use it S3 to get yourself some buffs. So, what we got going on here now, we're going to have some nice damage going on. We're seeing 13,000 mediums going on. But keep smashing those heavies. And fight's getting close to over. And as we see, he makes these kind of fights pretty effortless. Just parry heavy, but you would see I was going a little bit slower there with my parries because I've already had several issues between chapter 1 and chapter 2 today to where the parry was correct timing just did not work correctly. So I'm trying to take a quick moment to pause before blindly doing my heavies right now because I've already been caught a few times with it not working. Normally I'm launching my heavies immediately as the parry goes. And got a ton of Furies already. Just a simple little Iron Man fight. Gonna be nothing special here. Parry heavy, rinse and repeat. Keep them going, throwing a few specials here and there. Doing some massive damage at this point. There is a reason why people like this champ, let me tell you. And I'll power right there. 85,000 on the last of that special. So yeah, he does some damage, doesn't he? So that path was super simple. And as we've been seeing on most of the fights so far, simple paths, simple fights. Emma, I brought Cap IW as well as Warlock for this fight. Warlock, not any real specific purpose. He was just a back. I mean, the class advantage, a few other reasons. But I primarily back Captain Infinity War for this fight, specifically because I got Cosmics on my team already. So when I parry, it's going to armor break her. So you saw that parry automatically, so I can keep her in telepath mode super easy, which is going to make this fight a lot quicker. When I was picking Captain Infinity War for this fight, I was thinking which champ I wanted to bring with a armor break. A lot of times I like to use Corvus, but I did not want to bring Corvus on this path because he cannot do any damage until 3 buffs, and trying to get the buffs on the first fight's going to be a massively uphill battle. Therefore, I figured that Captain Infinity War would be a great option for this fight. And so it's not an unblockable special. That's one thing I was checking for. So you'll see me maybe take a little bit of block damage on the specials on the first hit or so, uh, in order to try to avoid what just happened to me and got hit. Here, I completely forgot about the Power Sting node and took some serious damage because I did a special after the Power Sting. So I looked up, saw my health, like what happened to my health? Oh yeah, Power Sting. Sometimes just forget the nodes. So I remembered this time. So gonna be careful and wait until after the Power Sting is off, which is now off, and I can do an easy finish. But boom, easy boss solo. So we saw the chapter 1 bosses easy solos. We saw this boss easy soloed as well. Now we're going to get into chapter 2.2, just a 2.1. So we're going to chapter 2.2 and try to keep the good, positive, item-free momentum going on. So as many fights, including the boss, as possible. Again, I'm going to bring 3 champs for the path, 2 champs specifically for the boss, is my goal. So looking at the path, techs gain the advantage, specifically armor ups. Parrying is good. So you get advantage from tech, armor up, parry champs. That just screams Hulkbuster right there. But with armor up, also Guardian is going to be a huge, awesome fit for that. Armor up, also Warlock. So those 3 are pretty easy choices for me. For a Mojo boss, also really easy choices. Looking at these nodes, taking a look, the Hard Knocks, the Healthy Balance, the Juke. So Juke, the way Torch works anyways, Juke won't be an issue because you don't do 5-hit combos with Torch under normal circumstances. Therefore, Torch should be an easy solo for that fight, but I brought a Void as a backup just in case I make a mistake. So let's go this path. Let's go to Kingpin first. I'm going to start off with Guardian. I'm deciding not to use Hulkbuster on the first fight because Hulkbuster is a heavy, parry-heavy champ. Kingpin can shrug off those heavies really quick, so I can, if I'm trying to parry heavy Kingpin, there's good chances I'm going to get punished more often than I would like. So Guardian will fight in a different style. I keep wanting to parry because I do get that power decrease advantage. However, I keep forgetting that when I use a special, I give him a bar of power, and I push him to S2 without remembering that. Sometimes it takes me a fight or two to really remember what nodes I'm dealing with. Got to make a couple mistakes. I don't really sit there and memorize the nodes. I take a quick glance, make a few team decisions off of it, go from there, and start to fight. Try to keep it natural. Plus, it's more fun. If you put too much thought into it, then it's not as much fun. So went ahead and dexed at S2, made a little mistake the first time, made a mistake there as well. So far, it's been far from a clean fight, but simple enough. So now I'm remembering that when I use a special, he gains a bar. I prefer to try to keep Kingpin at no more than 1 bar of power specifically. Well, the S1 is ridiculously easy to dex. S2 is not too bad normally, but the Unstoppable. I don't want to deal with the Unstoppable on S2 is the main reason. So a little sloppy, but Guardian can take a beating. So he's still good to go. But now I got a champ that Hulkbuster is pretty much made for. In fact, this is a version of a Hulk. So time to bust up this Joe Fix-It. And we're going to have a little bit of fun. Hulkbuster is a really fun champ. He's one of these champs who got a very favorable buff. In fact, every time a new buff comes out, him and Magneto, who got two of the best buffs, going to see me corner him here. Do you see that? I just doing a little go to town on him right there. Massive damage. But Hulkbuster and Mags are the two people everybody compares their rebuff to now. So there was a nice buff yesterday that Daredevil is called Hell's Kitchen now, formerly Netflix, and everyone complains, oh, it's not a Hulkbuster buff, oh, it's not a Magneto buff. They all don't gotta be this. I mean, look at Hulkbuster here. I mean, come on. He's like a cheat code for the game. I mean, he just makes it so easy, so many fights. Same with Magneto. So there is in between. There's an in between this ridiculous top tier and trash tier. There's a lot of in between, but I really liked the Daredevil buff. I did a video tutorial on him for those of you interested. I think he's going to be like a Punisher 99, where people spoke kind of bad about him at first, but the more they used him, the more they liked. I love the buff right away in Punisher 99. We just got to take some time to learn the champs and use them to their play style, and that's how Daredevil Netflix is. So back on the file, we'll see I got Gwen pinned up over there, and again, just doing some serious, ridiculous damage to her. Hulkbuster is just steamrolling through the fight so far. Saw how long my fights took on the last quest in 2.1, and now you're looking at it with Hulkbuster here. Uh, Ironically, I had all those theory buffs on the past 2.1. It took so long here, I'm just doing what Hulkbuster does. So here, decided to go back to Guardian. And kind of a sloppy fight with them. My first fight with them, but they got plenty of health, so have a little bit of fun. Again, parrying is actually very good for these nodes because it helps me drain their power, helps me keep it control. Took me a little bit to get a little feel for these nodes, but once I got a feel for it, the parry is a huge benefit. It helps me. It's a great version of power control. All I got to do is parry, and I got full control over their power. There was just a sloppy one. I mistimed that by a millisecond, ran into the end part of the strike. See Garden doing some serious damage. Gotta love how he doesn't do critical, he just gives that extra energy. You see those extra 6,500 energy damage is going on instead of the crits. So right now I'm just using the parries for power drain, controlling her power. I'm trying to keep her at 1 bar. But, boom, down she goes. Another pretty easy fight, getting through all this. Next up is Sunspot. And as much as I like to give Warlock some love on this, he's slow compared to Guardian Hulkbuster. He's awesome, great utility, but he does not do damage and finish fights as quick as Hulkbuster or Guardian, that is for sure. Alright, I'm going to get him cornered in a minute is going to be the goal. And just do some crazy fun on him. Got that special out. Now I can just have a little bit of fun. And fire's getting low. And go ahead and finish this one off. Another effortless fight by Hulkbuster for this. Gonna go to Cyclops before wrapping up this path. And Hulkbuster's just been blowing through these fights. So last Quest 2.1 took a little while longer than I liked, so I'm going to make this one as quick as possible, which is where Hulkbuster is coming in. Go ahead, do some cornered heavies. Nice unblockable S2. Already got Cyclops most of the way down. Little bit of slop there. I was going for a heavy and just misclicked, or I don't know what happened there, but next thing I know, I'm getting punished as I'm standing there just doing nothing, looking up at the skies. And now getting ready for the boss fight. Got Mojo. Like I said, I brought Human Torch and Void specifically for this fight, even though I got my full team of tech still left. Let's bring the guys who I brought for this. Looking at the power alternator for the power defender, this power drain, the hard knocks, attacker performs a well-timed block, heavy balance, okay, the 5 heal blocks, and the juke. So 5 hit combos can be bad, so that's going to make Human Torch great because generally going to parry medium heavy or medium light medium anyways. I'm going to go do some flame on to try to make this a quick simple fight. Should be an easy solo with Torch as long as I don't make any mistakes, but we're all human, aren't we? So mistakes do happen at times. Especially the way the parry button's been working for me today, let me tell you. And I know I ain't crazy. I even went back and watched on the videos, watched the timing, so I know I ain't crazy. I've been parrying, but anyway, it's all good. Comparing their parry features for a while now. Alright, went ahead and got rid of the special. So I'm kind of keeping an eye on his events, what they're calling out for Mojo, but my belief is I'm going to have him down before he can do too much degeneration to me anyway, so I'm not too worried about that right now. Again, if I made a mistake, I got a boy to finish him off, and I still got all of my techs available too. But Mojo's mostly down, so now I get a little excited and I try to get fancy, and you saw I just dodged a millisecond too soon, took the last part of the hit, but not a biggie. Still able to finish off the solo, so soloing off both of the bosses here in Chapter 2. I will have Chapter 3 out as well, so depending on if you're watching this anytime later, it should be already out for you. Be sure to take a look at that to help you out. If you haven't already done so, please click on that top left icon popping up. Be sure to subscribe, watch another video, or click on the link for Chapter 3 as well to help you get through that item for free. Hope you enjoyed.